What's up YouTube, this is Robbo Vapes and tonight we're taking a look at the Eleaf Invoke kit with the LOT tank. Now they say that big things come in small packaging, folks, and you do not get a smaller package than this. This is the smallest, lightest dual battery mod I've ever come across. But is it any good or not? We're going to find out real soon. But first, let's dive down and check out the unboxing. So we're looking at what comes in the packaging. So we move the box out of the way, then we go straight onto the actual device. So you can see you've got a lovely white and copper brass finish to it. Got your Invoke sign there. You got your finger trigger, also in brass. You got ventilation on the battery door, and you got a nice centered 510. This will support up to 27mm tanks sitting flush. We'll go on to the actual tank itself, also in a matching white and sort of copper O-rings to finish the look. You got a nice open wide airflow. Currently I'm using the 4mm extendable kit on this, which comes in the box. You've got a proprietary drip tip. This is an 810, but it uses O-rings, so if your 810s haven't got O-rings it won't fit. You've got your 2mm tank, which comes standard, but no one uses them, so they'll be swapping to the extendable kit. If we look what else is in the box, you get your coil safety guide. Now this shows you what each coil that Eleaf are producing for this are good for. So you got your ones for flavour, ones for cloud chucking. You got your 2 amp charging cable. Of course you got your O-rings. Everybody likes O-rings. So included is the 0.3 ohm quad cylinder coil, capable of 40 to 110 watts, as you'll see on the coil if the camera focuses in. Yep, there you go. The HW4 coil quad cylinder. You got a quick start guide for the LOT tank. And you've also got the Invoke quick start guide as well, with all the information on how to work the device. Right, so what we're going to do now is a size comparison to show you how small this device is. They have really jam-packed this kit into such a small form factor. We're going to start off seeing what it's like compared to the iPower. Yeah. And then we're going to show you what it looks like compared to the iStick TC. I mean, look at the size of that compared to it. It's so tiny. Next up is the iStick 200. Which looks like a complete Goliath compared to it. We've got the Aspire Archon. Finally, the Majesty. All those devices look massive compared to the Invoke. I am so impressed that they've managed to get this level of kit into such small form factor. Yep, it's like they say, big things come in small packages. Right, we'll get rid of all these and then we'll go and look what comes in the mod and what the settings are like. So onto the actual mod. We'll click the buttons 3 times to get into the mode settings. So if you go to mode, you got your wattages and your voltages, you got your temper control, your TCR mode and your USB charging. We'll click it again 3 times. This will go into the settings menu. You can lock your coil, you can go into the power settings, your stealth settings. We'll go into the power. I think I've just earlier I discovered this, which so we'll go in again just to show you what I mean. But when you take your batteries out and put new ones in, it'll be defaulting to what's in the power settings. So currently that's at 220 watts. So every time you put new batteries in, it'll be defaulted to 220 watts. So if we lower this down to 100 watts, the next time I put new batteries into this, it'll be defaulted at 100 watts. Very, very good idea, and I think I was really impressed with that. Obviously you got your stealth settings. Now the sub-para menu, you've got your puff counter, the time it takes you to, the time you've taken a puff, and finally your ampages, but I keep it at puff counter. You can turn your logo on and off. You got your preheat functions, your timeout functions, and your exit. So we'll go to exit again. Go to info, you got your battery, and we've also got the software version it's running at. Very, very simple to work. Very impressed. Alright, well that was the a quick look at the unboxing and the Invoke itself. Now it's head at the top and it lets you know how we get on with it. Well folks, that was the unboxing. Now onto the actual device itself, and as you saw in the unboxing, this thing is absolutely tiny. It feels really light as well. I am so impressed they've managed to cram that much stuff into such a small form factor. It feels light but it doesn't feel cheap. I mean, I went to the gym earlier and dropped it going in, and I thought, oh great, I broke it before I actually do the review on the bloody thing. But it still works. There's not a single scratch, there's not a crack on the tank, everything is still working as new, and I dropped it hard. It bounced off the concrete steps about 2 or 3 times. But it still works. It's built like a rock, as all Eleaf products are. This is no exception. It doesn't feel cheap at all considering how light it is. The settings menus, I'm very impressed with the settings. I think the power function is a really good feature, and I do recommend everybody delves into, because when I changed this out for new batteries earlier, it was set to 220 watts, so if I'd have took a vape on that, that would not have been fun at all. But that just turns me right for not looking into the settings. But now that I've got it set to 100 watts in that setting, as soon as I change some new batteries on, that'll default to 100 watts. So if you're using this mod with such like a mouth to lung tank, you could default the power level to be set to like the lowest wattage, and then every time you put batteries on, that'll keep it to that level. I like the how easy the menu is. Literally just click it 3 times and you go into your settings. I think the tank is spot on. I've got it set to 100 watts at the moment. This is using the HW2 coil, I believe, rated 50 to 130 watts, triple chamber. Currently got it at 100 watts, and it works very well. It's a really nice weight. This can go up to 130 watts, so what I'll do is I'll take that up now. Con for me is it is a bit of slow crawler going up in the wattage levels, and it doesn't round wobbin, and that is always a bit of a con for me. But this is 130 watts. Probably a bit too warm and hot for my liking. I think 100 watts is definitely a sweet spot. But I think I am very, very impressed with this. Very good function. I think for the money I paid, which was £36.99, really, really good value. I got it off Amazon for £36.99. You can get them from most vape shops. I think it's £39.99 for the full kit. I'll put a link in the description for what's easy for charging for this. How does it fare compared to the other tanks in the market? The LOT tank, I think it's a good competitor. I don't think it's up there with the likes of the Cleto 120 and the Valerium, but I think for a really, really good budget sub-ohm tank, I think they're on for a winner here. It doesn't get too hot unless you're up it to 130. I've not noticed the tank getting hot. The airflow chamber I think is very nice, not wide open. like I said earlier, it doesn't feel light. I think the only con really is they're going for these proprietary drip chips, which I think it's an 810 drip tip, but if you've got an 810 drip tip which has got O-rings on it, then it will work. If you haven't, then it won't work at all. So that's a bit of a con, because I know a lot of people like to use their own O-rings, drip tips, sorry. But yeah, would I recommend someone to go and buy this? Yes, I would, 10 times over. I think Eleaf have knocked it out of the park once again. I've always been a massive fan of Eleaf, that's no secret. I think they make very, very good, affordable mods that work and work like a champ, and this is no exception. And that is my review of the Eleaf Invoke kit by Eleaf.